Headlines now after middle school students in Albany were asked to sign a suicide pact.
We reached out today to a crisis intervention specialist. Our Amy Frazier is here now with some helpful information for parents.
While the student behind the pact may have meant it as a joke, no one is laughing. In fact, mental health experts say threats like this should always be taken seriously.
Are you surprised to hear about something like this going on in middle school?
I want to say that I am, but middle school is such a hard time for all of us. We are figuring out who we are.
As a crisis intervention specialist with Lines for Life, Stephen Canova is a lifeline for those considering suicide.
And so much of suicide lives in the shadows of stigma that when we talk about it and address it in a really upfront way, we create a dialogue and start breaking down some of those barriers.
He tells me he's glad word of a suicide pact at an Albany middle school was confronted and dealt with in a direct way. We got a copy of the letter sent to students and parents at Calapooya Middle School. It says a parent alerted the school when her daughter was asked to sign a suicide pact. Other students say they were also approached.
It kind of put me in shock that she asked me that. I was like, no, because I would never do that.
The district has talked to the student behind the pact, an 8th grader, who reportedly considered it a joke.
I'm, of course, incredibly sad to hear that this is going on at all. For me, suicide is never a joke. We would take every threat very seriously.
And he encourages all parents to do the same. I found out suicide warning signs can include behavior changes, withdrawing from loved ones, neglecting hygiene, and sleep changes. Some risk factors for suicide include previous suicide attempts, talking about death, and depression. In a pact situation, some psychiatrists say the secret bond and trust teens develop can result in doing something they wouldn't have the courage to do on their own. In the Albany case, people spoke up and no one was hurt.
Every threat needs to be addressed and taken seriously. The results of not taking it seriously could be the loss of a young person's life.
If you're concerned that someone you know may be considering suicide, there is a number you can call for both help and advice. The free Suicide Lifeline number is 800-273-TALK. You can also find that number tonight at KOIN.com. Reporting live in the newsroom, Amy Frazier, KOIN 6 News.
You know, and like he said, those middle school years, those can be the toughest years for kids. I mean, that's that transition year. You're not quite a teenager, you're not a little kid anymore, and kids are sorting themselves out. And that's
seems like